Hey there, it's Rob Levy again. Hey, I wanted to update you this month on kind of what's going on about the housing market again. And what I really wanted to talk about is a lot of people have been asking me, hey Rob, are we in a housing bubble? Well, I've dug up lots of information that I want to share with you. I've got a bunch of charts and graphs, so hang out and watch these, and we'll see what I have to say and what I'm sharing from some of the experts around the country. Now, it's important to note a couple of things. First off, if you like my videos, please subscribe below and click like, and feel free to share them with a friend. So without further ado, let's just jump into this and kind of see what I've gathered up here. There's a lot of things to talk about. First off, again, are we in a housing bubble? Well, so what defines a bubble? And the bubble basically says it's just this, we're kind of at the point where there's too many houses to sell, we're going over the top, and that's just simply not the case for several reasons, and I've got three. Number one is the supply of houses. And if we take a look up on this graph here, you can see that the supply of homes is nothing like the last time we were in a mess. Of course, that would be the Great Recession between, let's say, 2007 to 2012, depending where you were in the US. But take a look at this chart, and you can see that we have had way too many houses, and there's a lot of reasons for that. Overbuilding, easy financing, people just thinking, hey, I'll stick my house on the market because I can get top dollar for it. A million reasons. But as you can see, if you look at the peak years there with multiple months worth of inventory versus where we are now, which is about 3 months. Now, that's market specific. I'm coming to you from Portland, Oregon. We're running right now about 1.4 months worth of inventory. So it depends where you are. I know some of the cities in the Midwest. I know Las Vegas, I'd heard recently, has quadrupled their inventory. So inventory has crept up. So the number one reason that we're not in a bubble, per this graph, is, as you can see, we simply don't have enough homes to sell. Now, what about the next step here? Well, the next step talks about lending. And, back in the day, I remember seeing ads on TV and telling my wife, this isn't going to last very long. And that was back in like 2006, where it said, borrow up to 125% of your home's value. I'm like, this is not going to end well. And it didn't. And as we know, people overextended, and the lenders, we used to joke and say you could fog a mirror and get a loan, and it was just too easy to get a loan, and a lot of people that shouldn't have had loans did get loans. The housing market dropped. There's a bunch of foreclosures that drove it down even more, and that's kind of what created a lot of the big mess back then. Now, I've done this for almost 34 years now as a top realtor in my marketplace, and I've been through, I guess, 3 recessions, and this, even if we do go into a recession now, it seems to be it's going to be quite a bit different. And one of the reasons is the lending standards are still under control. So again, per this graph up here, you can see that, hey, back then it was so easy to get a loan, and they really tightened the screws, relaxed them a little bit, and tightened them again. So what we've got going on is it's tougher to get a loan, and what that means is you've got more quality loans, so that means there aren't going to be foreclosures. So going back on these past 2 graphs, the one about the inventory, I should also mention that they simply haven't been building enough homes. And this graph up here shows you the lack of new home construction. Now, if you think back to, let's say, 2001 and the huge increase in population we've had in the United States with, like 20 million people or 20 to 30 million more people in our country, there simply aren't enough homes. And this is all done at a time when millennials are buying homes. They're finally really buying homes at a high rate, especially as they're having families. Baby boomers are living longer and they're downsizing, so they're selling and buying homes, and usually downsizing into a smaller home in most cases, and also buying homes in vacation markets. So we've got that going on there too. So again, the lending standards are totally under control now. That's very, very different than last time. And the last graph here, this one here, talks about foreclosure, and we touched on that a minute ago. When the loans were really easy to do, the banks foreclosed on just a ton of homes. And if you had a house that was worth, let's say, $500,000, and the one next door was owned by the bank, and they stuck it on the market and sold it for $450,000, and it was identical to yours, and you wanted to put yours on the market, you really couldn't sell it for more than $450,000, and because the market was dropping, you sold it for $425,000, and the guy on the other side of you put his house on the market, and he had to do it at $400,000, and you kind of see where I'm going with that. That was what all these other problems caused the foreclosure problem, but the foreclosure problem is what caused this kind of spiraling down and no way to get out of it. The difference between then and now is that more Americans have equity in their homes than ever before. More than 50% of Americans have more than 50% equity in their homes, quite a bit more actually. So therefore, if somebody were to lose their job, they're probably not going to lose their house. So what does that really mean? Well, it means that banks probably aren't going to be foreclosing on houses because people have too much equity. If banks aren't foreclosing on houses at a very same time when there's not enough inventory, at a very same time our interest rates are reasonable, we're probably going to be in pretty good shape for the foreseeable future and really not in a housing bubble. By the way, as an anecdote to this, interest rates. I find it very interesting that all over the news over the last year or so it's been about these mortgage interest rates going up, 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 and that's all we've ever seen. Have you looked lately what interest rates are? I'm coming to you in the middle of August, actually kind of early mid-August, in 2022. Just a month ago, well, just 6 months ago, interest rates were in the high twos. Just a month ago, they were pushing 6%. We locked somebody yesterday at 4.5%. There are mortgages available now at 4.5 to the very high fours is kind of where they're sitting as of today. Obviously, that can change. It depends on your credit. It depends on what you're buying, where you live, and a lot of other factors. My point that I'm trying to make is that you're not seeing that on the news about how interest rates have come down significantly. So when you package all that together, really no foreclosures driving things down, lenders being really tough on lending loans as far as qualifying people to do it, not enough builders building inventory for homes, a booming population, the population that we do have buying homes faster than ever before, millennials I'm talking about, and just simply we're in a seller's market. So we don't really see prices dropping. So thanks again for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Please subscribe below. Share it with a friend if you like watching my videos. Make a comment below. And thanks so much. So thanks again for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Please subscribe below. Share it with a friend if you like watching my videos. Make a comment below. And thanks so much.